god, this video is a disaster. This is the most chaotic video I filmed in a long time. Hey friends, it's Robin. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my March TBR. These are always my favorite videos to film every single month. I just have such a good time with the TBR prompts and everything like that. So if you haven't seen one of these before, every single month I pull prompts out of this little jar and they just help me pick books that are on my TBR, whether they are ebooks, Kindle Unlimited, ARCs, ebooks, library books, physical books. I try to pick things that I already have in some capacity, things that I don't have to spend money on, but there's always exceptions, and I do have some anticipated releases that I really want to read this month. So I don't think there's really anything going on in the month of March, at least not that I'm participating in. I know that the Queer Lit Readathon has a weekend readathon towards the end of March, and I know that Bethany is hosting the tour.com-a-thon. I every now and then will participate in Riley's book club read over on her Patreon. This month is a pirate fantasy, which is not my jam, so I'm not doing that this month. So I have really nothing that I'm participating in, which means that my TBR is wide open. Like I said, I do have things picked out. Did already spin my trope wheel, so I'm gonna pop that up right here. And this month's was historical. If you watch my monthly wrap-up reset, you will know that I didn't do February's. I'm sorry. It didn't happen. I put way too many books on my TBR, and since that was one that was not already on my radar, it didn't get prioritized. But I do have options for this one already, so hopefully this month we can get back on the wagon. So that's kind of what we're working with this month. I'm going to pick 10 prompts like I normally do, and then at the end I will talk about any additional things that I might need to throw in here. But let's just get right into picking the prompts. If I'm feeling real feisty, maybe I'll pick 12, but we'll see. Let's just start with prompt number 1. That's 2. Let's go with this one. And this one is to read a book with an animal on the cover. I probably should have had my laptop ready for this. Okay, so I have a couple of options. Some are stretched further than others, but I do have The Key to My Heart, which does have a little fox. I don't even know if you can see that. There's a little fox up here. I keep putting it off, but now it looks snowy. I don't know if I want to read a snowy book in March. I don't know. This is a possibility. I do need to read it. I've had an arc of that one for months, and it came out in December. I do have Beautiful Nightmares by KJ Sutton, which is a huge stretch because there's no animal here, but the number is a crow, which that counts, right? So this is an option. I do want to reread this because book 5 is coming out very soon. And then the one that I probably should go with because it makes the most sense, and it's the one that I am going to go with, is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. There is a snake, a butterfly, and a little lizard on here. So that's what we're going to go with. This is one of the books that I had started for that try a chapter fantasy whole thing. I'm going to link the playlist up here if you didn't catch that. But essentially I did a reader's guide to fantasy romance, and I gave a bunch of recommendations, and I tried books off my own TBR, and I think I read this one for the Angels, Demons, and Gods one, if I'm remembering correctly, and I do want to continue this. I do have an arc of this. This is following our heroine, who is a witch, and she is the prophesized one, but she has absolutely no control over her magic, and the only thing she seems to be good at is nature magic, and her family thinks that that is not good enough for them. They're super snobby about it. She is trying to practice her summoning skills, and she accidentally summons a demon that she needs to make a soul bargain with, and they fake date. I believe they also become roommates because he needs to keep an eye on her. I love it. That's what we're gonna go with for prompt number 1. Prompt number 2 is, let's go with this one, and this one is, oh god. This is to read a queer book, which I have tons of, and I know which one I'm going to go with because I am so excited to read Something Wild and Wonderful by Nita Kelly. This is I thought it was a road trip romance, but it's not. It's a hiking romance, and the two of them end up like they keep meeting on this trail, I believe. Says that he keeps running into a charismatic hiker with golden brown eyes again and again. Maybe there is a reason why the trail keeps bringing them together. But there are worse things than falling in love during the biggest adventure of your life. When their plans for the future are turned upside down, the two of them begin to wonder if it's possible to hold on something this wild and wonderful. I love the way that Anita Kelly builds their romances and their characters and the chemistry, and oh, I just love it so much. So I'm very excited to give this one a read. Prompt number 3, this one. And this one is, to read a most anticipated book, which is good because I have yet to read a single book off of my most anticipated or 5-star releases for 2022, which is not great. I'm going to pop up some templates right here. I built these 5-star predictions and most anticipated templates mostly to track things for myself, but I do always share these over on Instagram. So if you would like one of these, they are always available in my Instagram stories. No, Instagram highlights. So I'm gonna knock out 3 things all at once with this one. So not only is it most anticipated, but it's also gonna fit for my trope wheel and it's an arc. So we're gonna go with A Sinister Revenge by Deanna Raybourn. This is book 8 in the Veronica Speedwell series. I love this series. With my whole entire heart and soul, I am obsessed with this series. Veronica and Stoker, I live and breathe for them. I'm so excited to be back in this world. I love this cover so much. If you like look at all the details on this cover, there are a bunch of like skulls and stuff on here and like fossils. Do I know what the synopsis for this is? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter what the synopsis is for the series. I never read them going in because it doesn't matter. I read these books for the like goofy fun mysteries and the characters. So I don't really care what the plot is, but it is a historical Victorian era mystery romance type of series. Very excited to knock out a whole bunch of prompts all at once, and I need to start making headway on this most anticipated list. So that's going to be prompt number 3. Challenge number 4. Oh god. They're falling out of the jar. I thought I had a jar big enough, but apparently not. This one is to read a book with an odd page count. So let's take a look. Ooh, this book is so chunky. 715. Do we just go with this one? Let's check Enemy Within by Telbauer. 427. They both have odd page counts. I'm gonna hope that I can get Enemy Within in a different prompt, and I'm just gonna get this giant behemoth of a book onto the TBR. Like I said, I've already read this, and I've read the first book like 3 times, so I have a pretty good memory of what happens in the first 3 books, but I've only read this one once. I do have these all on audio, I believe, so I will most likely listen to the audiobooks for these. I think I have this one on audio. I'm second guessing myself, so I'm gonna reread that. Prompt number 5 is a book that is blurbed by an author that I love. I don't even know if any of these have blurbs on them. So for Blurbed by an Author that I love, I'm going to actually read Ruby Spencer's Whiskey Year by Rochelle Billow. This was very kindly sent to me by Berkeley. This is blurbed by Denise Williams, which is an author that I absolutely love. I do have an audio book of this as well from Penguin Random House, so I will most likely listen to the audiobook. I don't know a ton about this book. So we're following an American food writer. She moves to a Scottish village in order to write a cookbook, and she meets a handsome Scotsman while she is there. I assume whiskey comes into play at some point, which does have me a little nervous. If you watched my video about a love letter to whiskey, I don't know if I'm ready for more whiskey metaphors, but that's all I know about this. It does sound like the main characters are in their 30s, which I do appreciate. Prompt number 6 is this one, and this is to read a book with an even page count. Wow, I'm getting really lucky. This has 352 pages, not counting like the little blurb of the next book. So we're gonna go with Crust by Ice by Nalini Singh, which is book 3 in her Psy Changeling series. I don't know who this one follows. I haven't been like reading the synopses for this before going in, but this takes place in a world that has shifters, it has Psys, and it has humans. The Psys kind of control everything, but they're kind of evil, and the changelings are starting to gain some power. And so a lot of these have been Psy shifter romances. I don't know if that's the case in here, or if these are 2 Psys or 2 shifters. I don't know, but I really enjoy the series, so I'm excited to give this one a try. We have a lot of physical books on this so far, which wasn't part of the plan, but prompt number 7, I think that's multiples. Let's go with this one. And this one is Historical book. Luckily, I have one more on this list. So we're gonna go with A Spencer's Guide to Danger and Dukes by Amanda Collins, which is book, God, is this book 3 in the Ladies' Guide to Mischief and Mayhem series? I don't think that's the name of the series. I don't know who this one's about. I honestly don't remember, but this is a historical romance. I did enjoy the first two, so I'm gonna read this one. Like I said, I don't remember what this is about at all. I don't remember who these characters are at all. I never used to understand when booktubers would be like, I don't know what this is about. I was like, how do you not read the synopsis? How do you not remember about the books you read? But after a while, I don't know, man. You just stop remembering. Yeah, I'm gonna read this one. It's a historical romance. I don't know anything about it. Prompt number 8. Editing me is gonna hate filming me. Let's go with this one. And this is to read a book with a cover that I don't love. So for this one, I'm gonna go with Egotistical Puckboy by Eden Finley and Saxon James. I don't like the covers for this series. I was never going to read this series. However, the Husband Hoax series, or the Husband Hoax book that I just read, one of the characters in there is getting his romance in this series because these authors have like completely interconnected worlds. So now I need to catch up on the series. Like I said, I don't particularly love the covers of the series. There's something about like the little logo thing where the title is. I always think that it's like a ship wheel. Like obviously it is 2 hockey sticks, but whenever I glance at it, I always think it's a ship wheel. This is a hockey romance. I have read quite a bit from both of these authors before, but I've never read the series. Like I said, I was never planning to read the series. I can't get Goodreads to work, so I don't know the synopsis for this. It's a hockey romance. It's probably enemies to lovers. It's an romance. That's all I know about it. If Goodreads would work, I would redo the synopsis, but it won't load anything. So that's what we're gonna read for a cover that I don't love. Prompt number, what, 9? Prompt number 9. Let's go with this one. And this one is to read a fantasy. I'm trying to decide between a couple of them because I have a couple of sequels that I'm really itching to read. So I have The Reich by Lily Mayne, which is book 3 in her Monstrous series. Really want to read this one. I also have Inextricably Tied by Aveda Weiss. This is book 1 in the Lost Touch duet. And this is an MMF monster romance. Or I have Castor by Jacqueline Osborne, which is book 2 in her angel romance. God, I'm really bad at this. Who let me be a booktuber? So those are the 3 that I'm kind of trying to decide between. I might make it a poll. I'm gonna pop up the winner of the poll right here. Editing me, again, is gonna hate me, but this is the winner of the poll. This is what I'm gonna be reading. I'm hopefully gonna read all of them, but prompt number 10 is this one. And this one is to read a light-colored cover. We're gonna read Enemy Within by Tal Bauer. I was hoping this would come up again. This is book 3 in the Executive Office series. I pretty much binged books 1, 1.5, and 2 back to back a while ago. Probably like fall of last year. And this series is hella intense. And so I ended up taking a break because I was just like, I need a breather. Okay. And so I took a break and I never picked this one up. Like I kind of forgot about it. I am going to listen to this one on audio. I really, really love the audiobooks for Tal Bauer's books. So I'm going to listen to this on audio. It's also 417 pages and this is a big, big fucking book. Here's like a traditional paperback. This thing is huge. So, I'm going to read this. This is an romance between a Secret Service agent and the President of the United States. A lot of politics and war and deception. I really, really love the series a lot. It's fantastically written. I love Tal Bauer's books so much, but it is a very intense book, hence why I've been putting it off for a minute. So that is book number 10, which is technically what I normally pick for this video. But this is gonna sound ridiculous. I've been switching a lot of things from 10 to 12 because it fits better on Instagram stories. Like on my templates, 10 is a really hard number. So we're gonna pick 2 more because that's who I am. 11 is a book that has one of my favorite tropes. Okay, so for this one, I am gonna go with The Four Leaf by Lee Jacot. This has a friends to lovers romance in it, and I love friends to lovers. I feel like friends to lovers is like, for me, superior to enemies to lovers if it's done correctly. And this author always has like amazing chemistry between her characters and steamy scenes. And it sounds like this might be BDSM, which I love too. So that's what we're gonna go with. So it takes place around St. Patrick's Day, but it's not like super St. Patrick's Day themed. But I am very excited for this one. Like I said, I love this series a lot. So, and then let's just pick one more because I do have a lot more books on here that I want to read. So let's go with this one. This is to read a dark colored cover. We picked a lot of pairs. Okay, so I have two options for this. The one that I should be reading is Feed Them Silence by Lee Mandello, which is a novella that comes out on the 14th. I love Lee Mandello. I read their first book, which was Summer Suns. It was fantastic, one of my favorite horrors ever. This is all about a heroine who is a scientist, and she is obsessed with getting into the minds of these wolves. The one that I want to read is Sabbatical by Katrina Jackson. And this isn't like a super dark colored cover, but I really want to read it. So I don't know. I'm gonna put one of those two. Most likely I'm gonna put both of them on my TBR because I want to. Oh, what a terribly done TBR. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'm sorry for the chaos that was this video. There are so many other books. Like I said, I have this huge list here of books that I want to get through. So if you are curious about what some of those other books are, I'm gonna post another Instagram story. I do this every month that I want to get read for that month. We'll see what I actually get read, what I don't. I am planning to continue on with those like monthly wrap-up resets, not where I talk about the books that I read that month, but talk about whether or not I read my TBR and like the things that I said I was going to do, and then kind of like share my favorites of the month and all of that. Let me know if you are excited to see me read any of these books. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought about them. Let me know what you are most excited to read this month, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye.